how is everybody doing tonight? I hope y'all having a good night tonight. Today we have a special guest. We have Jerry Young with us tonight. She does a lot. She's a author. She's a music artist. She's a playwright. I actually been in some of her plays. Not to mention this is my auntie as well. So we are excited to have her on tonight, and we're gonna get straight into it. So, um, basically, how did you start your journey getting into writing and playwriting in general?
Well, I I've always been a writer, but I wasn't sure I was an author. I was in high school and I would enter into contests at um you go to Springfield for HOSA, Health Occupation Students of America, Beta Club, and I would enter essay contests and I would win them easily writing. But I would go to college shortly after and make kind of bad grades to me in writing. And I couldn't understand it. And then, even after 2 years of college, I transferred from SEMO to SIUE, and I end up writing papers for all my friends from Chicago, and they would get A's. But when I wrote the paper, I would get a C for myself. And it really discouraged me. And I was like, okay, guess I'm not a writer. But it was then in college that I started being a hip hop artist. So I did something with writing. I wrote stories, so I just put it in poetic form. I didn't know I was a poet because rapping was out, and I hadn't heard of anyone being a poet, so I started rapping. Um, it would take for me to understand that I was a writer would be in 2008, um, when my ex-husband and I separated. I didn't know what to turn to. I didn't know what was happening, and so I started making poetry. I kind of shut myself off from people, and I said, "Whoa, that was a point. That was real good." And
Right,
then I just went on and on and on with writing poetry, starting in about 2008. Um, and then about 2009, I was like, "Okay, I'm writing a book. This is a poetry book," but I never published it. I binded it, where I could always go back to and read the poems. But it was then that I shared it, and people said, "Whoa, you're a really good writer," you know. And so
right,
before I could publish that poetry book, I was writing a poem that turned into a novel. So that's how the novel started. I was telling a story through the poem, and I was like, "Oh, this is getting deep." And I was like, "This can't be a poem. I'm going on and on and on." So I just
it
stopped
just,
rhyming and turned it into a novel, which was my very first novel. And at that point, I understood that, boy, I'm a writer.
right, and it's crazy that you actually mentioned that because I never liked writing in college either. Like
Mhm.
I'm good at writing papers and stuff
Yeah.
also, but like it's just for some reason when you writing in college, it just feels different for some type of reason. I
Mhm.
never cared for it like that either. But what was the name of the first book that you wrote?
I'd rather go to hell than the heaven that you're in.
Okay, so give us like a brief summary about that book.
Well, it was about a young girl named Zonita. Her mother died when she was 2. Her mother was a young mother, and she got killed in a drive-by shooting. So, Big Belle, which was Zonita's grandmother, her mother, Bonita's mama, ended up having to raise Zonita. Well, Zonita she felt loved by Big Bell. Big Bell was a spiritual woman, made her go to church every Sunday. But um, Zonita was very smart and could pick up on the vibe of the family members. And she always heard them saying little things like she's gonna be just like her mama. That's why her mama did. Her mama was this. Zonita, as she grew up, experiencing being a teenager and everything, she heard these things. So, long story short, she started making bad choices and almost feeling like that's the path she, that's what's gonna happen anyway. You know,
Right.
so basically the story is not leading. If you feel like that you're so good and holy, um that you need to adjust your ways and help somebody go in the right direction instead of them, like, I don't want to hear nothing you got to say. And that's what started happening is that Zonita, she had one of her aunties, Kat was a good person, and she was an evangelist at a church, but and had big churches, but Zonita was just rebellious, and because of everything that she seen Kat do and what they said about her. And so even though what Kat was saying was a good thing, Zonita went opposite. So she ended up in a lot of trouble, ended up going to jail, just doing all kind of, rebellious things. But then Zonita would turn her life around and she would be an advocate for making sure that she didn't cause people to go in the wrong direction. She made sure that she would adjust her attitude, the way she said things, to so somebody would choose what's right, not what's wrong.
Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. That sounds like a interesting story. I'm gonna have to check that one out. Now, did you turn that one into a play?
Yes,
You did.
yes, because and it was kind of accidental. What happened was, I wrote this book, and when it's your first book you write or something, everybody's supporting you. So, and I was a hairdresser then, so all my clients bought my book, and I had like the best book sales ever back then because I actually went through a real publisher that cost me way too much money. I may have got close to breaking even with the plays and stuff. I would break even with how much it cost to publish that book. It was a lot, all those years ago. So what happened was the book sales started to decline. And I was like, dang, this ain't fun no more. What I'm gonna do? And so I was one night I was like, man, I wonder can I write a play? But I hadn't written the play. But I had a thought, which is the very now I knew that I could write a play after I had done a little skit down in Cairo at for what did I do that skit for? But whatever I did it for to raise money, I knew that I was like, okay, I know how to make plays because I wrote a skit, right? So I had the thoughts of, boy, you wrote that skit, to raise money. Then that was to raise money to publish the book, to help me with the getting the book published. Then, so I went to the theater in Carbondale, the Varsity Theater, which we were at, and they met me there to let me see the theater. And I told them I was an author, so they was kind of eager to go ahead on and let me come in. And they showed me the stage, showed me that East Theater that we're in, and I saw the play. But I didn't have the play written, but I didn't let them know that. They let me book the theater, and I went home that night and wrote the play.
Oh
Printed
wow.
printed
One night.
the scripts out one night. I wrote the play, and then I asked my family members. And as I was writing it, I was like, "Oh, she could play this. She could play this. My mama could play Big Bell, that." And I was shy. I wasn't shy, but I didn't feel like I was so used to people, you know, like you really not that talented. Like I always got told things like that to me, like, you can't really dance, you can't really sing, and it affected me. And so I was like, okay, I can write, but I've been told I'm not talented, even though I feel I am. I feel I can, do these things. So I was like, I will be behind a curtain and I'll just read behind, inside of this, and I'll keep everybody going, on the stage or whatever. And so I wrote the play and put Bonita, who was dead in the book. She never was alive in the actual story, which is Onita's mom that got killed. So I used her as the ghost. I did show her murder, a murder scene in the play. So it started off with a murder scene, and I let my daughter play her, and then I was the ghost. She was the ghost, and I played
Mm,
her behind, the curtain. So that book was the first play.
okay, okay. And how would you say like the feedback was for that play?
Well, it was standing ovation. It was We had to bring in seats. It was sold out. And then, people stayed on their feet. There were people was like singing, shouting at the end, like it was like church service at the end. And a lot of people I'm still known as the girl to do plays because of that play. And the Carbondale area, they were like, boy, who is this?
Right,
And
right,
this is black people, and having this. And so it helped me get some respect to be able to constantly get the theaters, and just from that first place. So it was good feedback.
right. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it was unique because like you said, it's rarely that it's not that much, especially in the southern Illinois area to where you
Hmm.
see black people like doing plays and stuff like that, doing those type having those type of events. Now, as far as like the book, I'm gonna kind of rewind a little bit. Now, you said at the beginning, your book did pretty well, but because of the publishing, it kind of broke even. So, can you kind of like explain that in detail, like as far as like the sales and like how much you had to pay for publishing and everything?
So it was close to $3,000 is how
Right,
much the publishing was. Yep, it was close to $3,000. May have been 2,000 and something. I got on a payment plan. I put down a deposit and I paid monthly payments until I paid it off. And so the sales, so I started getting it really wasn't even just even purchasing books. Like if I purchase book author copies, I could get them a little cheaper, but it wasn't that much cheaper. And um I could do book signings. The only benefit was I could do book signings in like any Barnes and Nobles, and they could order the books in. So I would get paid through the publishers. So the people who buying the books that was at Barnes and Noble, I think one of my books is still in Cape, so because it didn't sell, but it was still on the shelf in Cape. I think like last year, one of them, because I had a book signing over there at that Barnes and Noble. So you would get like a quarterly check, and I think my biggest check may have been like $900 at one time, and then I think I got like a $300 check, and it just dwindled down.
right, right,
So basically, I just broke even. I started getting author copies, and after I started doing a little more, I didn't sell my book at that play. I didn't really understand selling the book at that play as well, because it was you have to buy a bunch of books, and I didn't have money to do that at that time. But as I started having a little more money in the future, I ended up buying like a box of books at one time, and I put them in the plays that I started having later, like at Cougar Blues,
right,
and those plays. I had the copies of my old books, and that's how I kind of broke even because I was able to always have books and sell them.
right. And not to mention, back then, like it was internet, but it wasn't as prevalent as it was
It
today. It's
wasn't,
like
yeah,
as far as
not at
like
all.
promoting and things like that. So do you feel like if you would have wrote that book today, it would have blew up a lot more?
I think that it would definitely have gotten more attention. I don't know if I would get the sales anymore because the sales of my newest books didn't sell as big as that one did going through the publisher because I think it was just a connection,
Right, right,
another connection to get that book out there, by paying that $3,000. So I would say that if if you don't have something else going, like so I just wrote Poke Salad Sally and I wrote the Poke Salad Sally play and the books will be there together. Or like how Shut Up and Hear God, and I could keep doing stuff and feeding off of that. I it has a potential to do better than that book. So I guess it probably would have that potential to do better in the long run. You just got to have patience,
right,
and
right.
I didn't have much.
Yeah, yeah, that's
I
understandable.
didn't understand.
Especially if you
So
come out of like $3,000 for a publishing,
yeah,
and you're gonna want to see some type of profit.
and I done it twice because I came out of the first. Then I got a discount because I published the sequel to that book. So I published that one. Then I published Hellbound, and I felt like Hellbound, like my mom and them that read it. So this is the problem I have with like family. So my mama read my book. My daughter Coco, she read. They was like, "Man, mama, you should be." This how they talking to me. It's like, "Oh, I just really, my mama. I think I love this one better than the first one." And this is a lot of my family members, but it's hard for them to get on the selling thing with, you know what I mean? Like if it's my daughter, I'm gonna be selling just as many books as her. You you seen her book, especially when everybody would have that book. That was kind of difficult for them. I don't know if it's people in our small coming from somewhere like that. They tend to think you more than what you are when you do something like write a book. You know, it's
Right,
like,
and
oh,
you
she's
think
a
and,
author.
and it's like as far as like the promotion thing, yeah, that I can imagine that could kind of be hard to deal with, because you like, hey, your family, your friends, why ain't you promoting this like that? But like,
Especially if they say they love it. Not oh, they don't really care for this, but if they come to you with that, like say you do something and I love it, then I'm gonna be, oh, my nephew Lewis, you know what I mean? But
right,
I'm
right,
gonna promote you anyway. But I'm saying if I say I love it, you know,
right, yeah, yeah, that's understandable.
yeah.
So, so how many books have you wrote like in total?
I would say I think it's six and a cookbook, so seven.
So seven. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a big catalog of books, and also whenever you get a chance, you can also send me like the links to those books. I can
Okay.
put them at the bottom of this video. Um, so
I don't so the first two I I stopped paying the publisher. I used to have to pay the publisher because they owe. And so they're not no longer. I think you can still see them in Google though, but I don't know if people can still order them. Maybe I'll look on Amazon to see if they still can, because I think it was still circulating. Um, because they must have back copies. But on for the other books, it's like I have an author's page that I could send you and it have everything. It's easy.
Okay, okay. Now, as far as the plays go, you know, I know you did your thing on YouTube, like actually like starting like a series.
Hmm.
Um, how many plays would you say you wrote all together?
Um, it's my heaven your hair, bitter broken bees, cougar blues continue, blues is all right, bitter broken be better, heaven is a beautiful place. Shut up, keep your man, shut up, keep your man too, shut up and hear God, Silent Sally, the pud, 12,
12 plays.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of plays. Now, have you ever planned on actually like taking it to the big screen, like actual like movies?
Oh yeah, but I have more. I guess I could do. I have different ideas for movies now because I'm trying not to be set in my ways. My plays and books are my babies, and sometimes you could be this person. You could be evolving into something big, but you cradle. This is my baby. I
Right.
ain't changing his name. I'm keeping this type of. So I've been contemplating other titles and ways to get movie together, but not none of my plays
Okay, got
that
you,
I've done.
got you. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that's understandable.
yeah,
Maybe in the near future though, who knows? Who knows where it might take
yeah.
you?
Well, yeah.
And now your next play is pork salad Sally.
Poke salad
Yeah,
Sally. You don't know poke salad?
poke
You ain't
salad.
never ate no poke salad?
I have.
Okay.
I just don't know how to pronounce it.
poke poke salad Sally.
And
It's very good.
I actually think you made some before. I think that was
Yeah.
the first time I actually did eat it.
Yes, I made some using.
Yeah, so now you're also real big in health and you also do cookbooks as well.
Hmm.
So I want you to talk about that as well.
Well, I'm into health, and this is because of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I am in the Nation of Islam. I am a Muslim, and so I'm a believer and follower of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who teaches us that God came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, like the long awaited. People still waiting on God, and we know that God came. And one of the things that God came to do when he came to rescue the black man and woman of America, the descendants of slaves who was deaf, dumb, and blind, especially to food. That was one of the main things. We lead the whole planet in death, physical, mental, and spiritual death. But to know that 50% of black women are obese, 50% are obese. One out of every two black women have diabetes. That's a death sentence, and ain't nobody paying it attention. We just living, this, nah, we'll be all right. We gonna die, go to our Jesus, and we don't. We really just been blinded, and so man, my eyes open. And I open up How to Eat to Live. And when your eyes open and you read How to Eat to Live, you begin to live. And so I began to do what he said do. And my whole life changed. Not a little bit, in entirety. And so, because I can't just go to my family, whom I love so dearly, and tell them, well, God can't, what? God can, no, we still, no, God gonna come up, this gonna happen, so I wrote cookbook based on the Navy bean, which is one of the most important. things that's talked about in How to Eat to Live, because we could survive and sustain our lives just on the navy bean, pure milk, and real wheat bread. So I decided to make cookbook with mostly the navy bean. And then I would venture into, once I magnesium came to me, which was and I said, why is everybody deficient? Which means black people even more deficient. And magnesium deficiency causes obesity, causes diabetes, causes heart disease, and everything else, headaches, anxiety, depression, and we can go on and on and on. So I researched and I was like, boy, the navy bean has the most highest absorbable magnesium. We can get some magnesium from Walmart. We can get this, but it's a reason why almost the entire United States is deficient.
Right.
Why are we not hearing this? So the people who eat navy bean, the reason you see a change in them right away is because they're getting the absorbable kind of magnesium. So I just started figuring out what other things had, good magnesium in it, and trying to make more and more meals that would, so make people happy, because everybody want to eat and they want to eat different things.
Right.
Every party,
Yeah.
anything is
Uh-huh.
about eating, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So
And
that's
they
what it's
want the
about.
food to be good too, you know.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, even if the food is, say, if the food is good, you know, they don't care if it's super healthy. If you can make it good, they'll still eat it. And
Hmm.
then, I mean, you may have some people be like, man, I ain't eating that, but
They gonna
it,
try it. Yeah.
you know, you'll have people who tried and be like, man, this actually tastes good.
Hmm.
And about the magnesium, now, I know you posted like this chart,
Yeah.
right? It's a
Hmm.
certain chart to where, like, at a certain age, you know, we all supposed to have like a certain amount every day. Do you know
Yes.
that by heart, or
I know yours and mine by heart. I know that you need 420 milligrams per day, and I need 320 milligrams per day.
okay? And about
Um,
how much navy beans would it take to get that much magnesium?
um, 3 cups
3 cups, okay.
of cooked navy beans, but that's a little too much. You're not really you shouldn't eat but 2 cups, and I should eat 1 cup. You're not supposed to overdo nothing.
Right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Too
So
much
that
is
the best way to get it is eat you a couple cups of navy beans, eat you a piece of wheat bread, drink you a couple cups of milk, and then you got it.
right.
Pure milk is about 55 milligrams of 8 ounces.
Right, yeah. Too much of anything is too bad. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So, you know, you're doing the cookbooks, and you also have something called the Sister Net Step as well, to
Yes.
where you encourage other women to work out with you.
Yes. Yes.
So, how often do you do that? Do you still do that every single morning?
Well, I don't do it every single morning because I, do other things, but I do it few times a week. But and that's normally to do it with some other sisters, because it's a low impact workout that at least gets the sister moving.
Right,
So it's designed to just get someone moving. It ain't really designed to make them so extra tired, or be like they went to the gym with this fancy trainer, got them hurting. It's not designed to do that. It's designed to just simply get their heart rate up some and get them off the couch. So, that's what the songs say, get up off the couch, do the sister that step. It's good if they do it every day. I could do it every day, but I do other stuff. I go running, um, and do things. So I don't do it every day. But this now I'm trying to do it 5 days a week just to keep the women that's in my Get Your Life in 90 challenge. This I've been doing a Get Your Life in 90 challenge. This is the second set of 90 days, and they should eat the navy bean soup or some type of navy beans 5 days a week and do the sustenance step for 90
Okay.
days. And that's just to build a habit.
Right, right. Now, for the people, like for the women that's out there, that's busy, they're on the go all the time. Say, if they don't have that much time to do that, what are some exercises they could do? Real simple, not that much time, to where they can at least get something in during the day.
Well, the sustenance step ain't but 3 minutes. So if they got some time, it's 5 minutes total for both of them.
Oh wow,
Um,
okay,
but I would say just walking, if they got time to go in the kitchen and they making something, they can literally like just walk in place, just lifting their feet up a little bit higher than normal and just walk in place while they're doing something.
working place, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha,
Simple
gotcha.
things like that. Not. And then if there's a breathing exercise that work on your abs, and I need to remember, I have to write myself notes and put it in or either put a reminder in my phone now. But I've been trying to get used of doing this breathing exercise that can work. It's like a reverse breathing, and it'll help your abs. And you could do that even if you're sitting down, um, you know, wherever they at. You can do that. So you
Okay,
reverse breathe. Most of the time when you breathe in, you pull your stomach in, right?
right,
So
uh
you
huh.
don't so you don't do it like that. You actually breathe in as you push your stomach out. And then you blow out and move your stomach in. So that's a reverse breathing, and you can really feel a difference when you do that.
So
Like,
would you say that's like similar to like what them breatharians do? I don't know if you're familiar with that, but
no, I'm not.
okay. Well, it's kind of weird, but a breatharian is basically, from what I've seen, from what I researched, they don't really eat food or anything like that. They just live off the earth. They just breathe air.
Oh, they
Yeah,
don't eat food
yeah. It's a little different. They
ever.
just yeah. If they do, it's very seldom, and they just breathe out the air.
Mm. Yeah, I ain't never heard nobody being able to live without eating ever.
Yeah. It's a little different. But just from what I seen a few people who said they were breatharians, and that's what they do, I guess.
Oh, no, I never, never heard of that.
Yeah, it's different.
Mhm.
So, how would you say, you like just everything in your life personally changed? I know you said that you know, you you became a Muslim, converted to the Nation of Islam and everything, and then
Mhm.
that's what inspired you to change your diet. So, what positive things have you seen in your life, ever since you've done that?
Um, Probably the most positive thing would be my ability to deal with misfortune. So stress, being able to deal with stress, being able to deal with pain, hurt from other people, and realizing that I have the power to um, change my reactions and my emotions. That's probably the biggest thing. And then, of course, my appearance have changed. I look younger to me. Like and I look in the mirror, I look on a picture, I can be on FaceTime with somebody, I can visibly see youth coming through me. Like I'm going back, I'm getting younger.
Right, right, yeah, yeah. I can definitely tell from the diet and everything and the working out.
Yeah.
But so you do the books, you do the plays, you do the music as well. So are you working on anything new with the music?
I released an album not that long ago called Blue Rise, and this was supposed to be my retirement album. The last album that I'll release. I may release some singles for plays like I did Shut Up and Hear God, but it ended up going on the album. But that was being done with, because I make so many songs. I could just be driving and be like, oh, dang, that's another song. Let me make a song game. And it's just a lot. Like, what am I doing this for? Another song? So I need to have purpose for what I'm doing, not just always coming up, with another rap, another this. So I released that album, Blue Rise, a few months ago, and that's it. And I don't think I do a single not that long ago? Yeah, I read and I haven't released it. I really need to release it because it sounds good. So I did do Shut Up and Keep Your Man theme song myself, and it came out really, really well. And but I gotta drop it. I was really wanting to drop a video with it to drop the song. So I wanted to do the video at the retreat that I got coming up in October. And so maybe drop the song for my birthday. I don't know, because my birthday is the 8th. I would have to do it. So maybe I'll do the video and the song and before that and have it for my birthday in October.
Right, got you,
So
got you.
that's the last musical thing. It's just making that single "Shut Up and Keep Your Man," um, putting that
Okay,
out there.
okay. Well, I'll be looking forward to it too.
All
So,
right.
so I have to ask at least one controversial question. Since we're on here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so the state of music now. Um, I don't know if you pay much attention to it anymore, but
Mm-hmm.
just like with the over sexualization of women, um, not even just that, just the murder and the killing. How do you feel about the state of hip hop right now in general?
Well, um, it's definitely a reason why I keep I say I'm out of the music scene, like I dropped a song called Bounce They Head, and it's like the kids want me to play it over and over again because it's a straight hip hop song. It because of So Minister Farrakhan talks about that the rappers, you got the ear. You know what I mean? You got the ear of the youth. Um and that's so big and so important that you have their ear. So that song, this ironic, the song Bounce Their Head, the chorus is, if I can't make them bounce their head, then they ain't hearing what I said. Knowledge banging, wisdom fed, kicking falsehood out their head. So I have to, I'm looking like, okay, I just can't say anything. I gotta make them kids, want to bounce, because I gotta get their ear.
Right,
So the the rappers out here that got the ear of the youth, man, they're killing our youth. They're not helping the future at all. We is this is really big, and I know a lot of them don't, they get on show, they don't really do that. They don't really pop like one song I heard the other day, and I heard it in somebody else's car beside me. I don't all and I couldn't stop. This one lyric that I heard went in my mind, and that's all I heard. And you may know the song just because of the lyric. It said, "I don't smoke blacks for real. I'm on that pill."
Mm.
There was and I forget how it went, but I know it said that I don't smoke blacks for real. I'm on that pill
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
Promoting popping pills. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, promoting popping pills, and it's and obviously the more you see, the rappers got the ear because the things they do, the way they dress, what they say, then that trends. We know, because we've been taught that this is a game plan of, um the people who run hip hop industry is, Jewish people. The people who run the banks, this is the synagogue of Satan Jews, that are telling them what to do to suppress the power of the black man and woman. It causes them not to be able to have proper relationships. It promotes homosexuality, you know, um, not having proper relationships. A girl, you can have a woman and she can't even feel, she could be yours, but she think that she got to dress a certain way, um, out, for everybody, just because of how society is set up, and all this is being put out there. So it penetrates their mind, and no matter what they say, it penetrates their mind. I know because I've been there, done that. You know what I mean? But the
Right.
only thing I can say about me, and that's not bragging because it's just being blessed to kind of let go of some stuff. I always felt like, okay, Jerry, you got a man now. Even if he was a boyfriend, I admit that I was trying to go out there and get me one. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. Right.
let me show what little it is. Put this on tight because everybody else got it on. He gonna be looking at them. I gotta show. But once um he chose me, if I was the one, he went, I was like, okay, I don't really need, okay, I don't really need this on, because all that does is make the next man still think that I'm available.
Right. Right. Yeah. And it's crazy that you mentioned that. Because the whole Kiki Palmer thing. I don't know if you heard about that or not, but
Hmm.
a lot of people been going crazy about that. Women, they've been feeling some type of way about it, and then man, they've been feeling some type of way about it. So that's definitely a controversial topic.
Hmm.
That people been talking about. And another thing that you mentioned is how the music affect the relationships between a
Hmm.
man and a woman. When I look on social media, I see this a lot. Especially like if you scrolling down like TikTok or something like that.
Hmm.
I especially the black man and woman. I
Yes.
see us going at each other throats. All the time. On
Yes.
social media. So how do you feel about that? Do you see that as well?
Oh yeah, that's the part of the plan. The whole plan of what's happening now is the destruction of the black man and woman so you don't produce a savior. It's almost like when the Bible, people, when you understand who you are and you understand scripture, you just read the script. The script is like, I'm a playwright and I've been thinking about this a lot lately about scripture. Uh, Deal wisely, with them. We're caught in a web of deceit that some of us worn out. Some of us seek, if the Bible says, seek and ye shall find, but so many of us ain't seeking because we fell in love with the ways of this world. You know, letting go of this world feels good when you let it go.
Right.
But if you ain't never let it go and you ain't used to seeing people who let it go, you constantly into it somewhere. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's a part of the plan. If I can keep if if that enemy can keep that black man and woman, because sorry, we can call it, well, a lot of us, we think, well, nobody ain't, I'm not down in somebody who's Caucasian or people having mixed babies. But if everybody go out and get a white person and have a mixed baby, then there's not going to be any more black people. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So it is important for the black and the white people, the Japanese people, everybody else know that they not finna just do that. They'll do not as much as our race, because you turn us to not even being in love with each other, right? There's
Right.
a whole lecture series by Minister Nuri Muhammad that says, that teaches how to love a black woman, how to love a black man, because he points out in the book that because it started with slavery, we don't like to go back there. We like to say we just got here. That ain't been that many years ago. From even just being a descendant of slaves, we have a problem. We have a problem that in time it kept building and building. Now you got people who understood, okay, we can utilize this. We got a people who don't know themselves. And if you don't know yourself, you can't love yourself. So
Right.
you can't completely love your black self when you don't even know how you're supposed to eat. You ain't gonna completely love yourself if you don't do nothing but pass gas all day long. If you got headaches, if you know what I mean, can't think straight because this happening. You don't even know you. You don't even know how what your diet's supposed to be just because you are a black person. So think about that. Just being tricked. So they keep you just suppressed down. Oppressed, and oppressed people. And once you can keep them, that's what that term heavy laden. It says in the Bible, come to me, all those that are heavy laden. Heavy laden means oppressed people, oppressed. Come unto me and rest. So burden with a bunch of burden. That's us. You know what I mean? So
Right. Right.
if we don't do that and let go of that burden, we're going to continue to fall for the attack, that's been on us, and separate from each other because we don't love each other. We don't love ourselves. You know what I mean? We think we love our mamas. We think we love our daddies, but then we don't want nothing like our mom. You know what I mean? We don't want nothing like our daddy because of this condition, this mental, condition from slavery. It has not been healed. We think, you got so many people say, "Oh, it's not, that's over with." My daughter Coco tell me I ain't come from no slave. I don't want to hear that. And I can see all through her things she could tell me. I won't even tell her. But I can read it that that's that slave mentality that you don't even know that you dealing with. So it ain't been healed. People ain't faced it. It ain't healed. And the black man and woman got to heal from it and accept, you know, some things that we need some help and fall back in love with one another. And that's how we get our power. Because,
Right, right. And the thing is, it didn't even just stop with slavery,
no.
it still continues till this day, with the music, the war on drugs,
Mm-hmm.
them separating the families back then, to
Yeah.
offer benefits and it just kept on going, so it never ended. There, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Didn't end. You're right. It's still a form of slavery. Just even with the amount of black men that's in prisons. Yeah, some of them did a crime, but you said it was a form of slavery to set them up to do the crime, most of the crime.
Yeah, yeah, true, true. And then and what you said, like as far as like with the food, the thing is, what we eat, it affects how we think. It
Yes.
affects our mood.
Yeah.
It affects how we react to certain things. So if we deprived of certain things, you know, we have a lot of we have a lot of us living in these food deserts to where it's
Hmm.
nothing but a gas station close by. So
Hmm.
all it is to really grab is some fast food, or you can go grab you
Bag of chips.
a bag of chips or something like that in a soda,
Hmm.
and you
Hmm.
drinking that all day, and you eating fast food all day. That's gonna catch
Hmm.
up to you. It's gonna affect how you feel. It's gonna affect your mood. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Yep, yep, yep. You're right. So yeah,
So
it's important for people to put some good stuff out there. You know what I mean? Even if you on social media, if you on social media, a lot of people get off of social time. I can't be on social media. I got well, if you're positive, then we need you on there. Be on there and put something positive for people. But
yeah, that's the thing. Especially like this with media in general, a
hmm
lot of a lot of things is negative. So the thing is we don't have that balance. With the
yes.
music, it's not that balance to
Hmm.
where of course you have your artists talking about ratchet stuff, doing all type of drugs and stuff, but we
Hmm.
don't have the artists talking about doing positive things. Being conscious of who you are and things like
Hmm.
that. So yeah, that's
No,
real
we don't
important.
have it. You're right.
But I have one more question for you, and I'm gonna
Okay.
let you go.
All right.
So you have the Soldier Project, the non for
Yes.
profit that you're doing. So what are your future plans with it? I know you already have the plan and everything going on, but like, what is the overall goal for that?
Well, the Soldier Project is my husband and I. We Solomon, Sullivan and Jerry, Joshi. Those are higher names, as you know. We already got the wrong last name, slave name. Got to come up out of being named, right? So we those names remind us of our higher selves on our journey. So we put it together, soldier, and we had, already work out, and you know, we we done made it, with against the odds. A black man and woman of this age, you don't even see too many, married, and trying to run a business and things of that. So we thought of look at what we having to put forth, to do this. So this is can help develop the community. And Minister Farrakhan says self improvement, the basis to community development. So us improving self, and those names remind us of our improved self. We decide we want to share that with the community. So the Soldier Project helps community development for economic, physical, and spiritual development. So we work out programs. That's the Sister Net Step is still a part of the Soldier Project. The retreat is coming up, the second annual Sister Soldier Retreat. I had one last year in August, the end of August, and this one is October the 6th through the 9th. And it's when women come together. They're going to spend the 3 nights and they will eat clean, eat the things to get their levels up every day. We will do the first The first day is it's called clean the slate and elevate. So we're going to clean the slate with a certain meal and then clean the mind too that night, which we will have a discussion about some negative things, just some things that they may have been harboring or even things they like to gossip about, and then they will be told to never talk about that again. Take that and do away with it. That's a part of cleaning the mind, because our negative energies, our negative thoughts, gossiping, or even something, still talking about what somebody did to you. Even like when I just talked about family, I shouldn't even have said that. And that reminds me, I should have never say that again, because gave that energy instead of staying up in the high that I've gotten myself to. I'm still writing books, you know what I mean? So
Right,
that's what I need to stay at. That's called elevate, clean the slate and elevate. So that is a big thing of, to me, for the Soldier Project, of the development of self to help them women and youth. We're really big with the youth with the same thing though. It's economic, physical, and mental development. The plays, Poke Salad Sally, the storyteller, these kids come asking me, would you show me what poke salad is? Or what's that word again? Magnesium? Magnesium, and so
right,
I got the kids rapping about the young men are rapping about what happens when they magnesium get low and what happens when they get it up. You know, one of the little boys' rap is he's so angry, depressed, always stressed, went to school, flunked his test, missed recess. Now mama fussing because his room a mess.
oh
And
yeah, that's pretty good right there.
that's when his magnesium is down. And so I had these kids telling me I got bars. When I do that to them young kids like that, they like, man, she got bars. And so because they think that it's easy, to get them into it. And so they do it, but they rapping and learning. So that's just developing, that child in so many ways, like giving them something to do, because most of them, their levels are low.
Right,
So they
yeah,
don't know why they
yeah,
angry. They not getting that. Most of them kids I'm dealing with need anywhere from 180 to 240, and they ain't getting it.
yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
not getting
Yeah,
within that diet.
the daily diet. Most daily diets, it don't consist of that.
No, no, no. Yeah.
Right, right. And before you get off, where can people find you at?
They can find me at bluedealsheels.com, soldierproject.com, Jerry X Facebook, YouTube, Blue Rise, BLUERYSE, and all that's connected. So even if you go to bluedealsheels.com, that could take you to my Facebook, to YouTube. It has my books, on there, my seasoning. I make my own spices. We forgot to
Yes,
talk about the low
she make
sodium,
her own
no
spices. Yeah,
sodium spices that go along with the whole cookbook. Those spices take the guesswork out of cooking. I have a couple new ones, and they're really getting good feedback. Like I can't keep up with them. I gotta get some more ready for tomorrow.
yeah, 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 yeah. She sell her spices as well. She go to the farmers market on
Yeah,
Saturdays, and she has her spices as well. So y'all go check her out. She's on TikTok as well.
TikTok.
For all y'all
Um,
young people, that use TikTok a lot.
yeah.
She's on TikTok, so y'all go check her out.
All right.
All
Okay.
righty. Thank you for coming on.
All right. Thank you for having me.
No problem.
Bye bye.